Good day, boxing fans. Saturday night at the MGM Grand Garden Arena, everybody's favourite fighting senator is back after a 4-year absence, and I'm talking about 8-weight world champion, recent Boxing Hall of Fame inductee, and that's of course Manny Pacquiao. We all love the icon of the Philippines, but he's not coming back for an exhibition bout against a kickboxer or a martial artist. He's not coming back for a tune-up bout against a fringe contender or a lower-tier contender. He's coming back to win another world title, and he will be taking on our Azteca Mario Barrios. Is it foolish? Is Father Time undefeated? Or is Pacquiao that kind of special that he can pull it off? Stick around and let's break it down. Is Pacquiao Barrios going to be like Bernard Hopkins beating Jean Pascal at age 46? Pacquiao now is also 46 years old. He has already set the record to be the oldest man at 40 to win a world welterweight title. But is it going to be a night like Roberto Duran beating Iran Barkley, Hopkins beating Jean Pascal, George Foreman beating Michael Moorer at the age of 45 to win back the heavyweight title? Or is it going to be one too many and a sad night like Larry Holmes against Muhammad Ali, or Sugar Ray Leonard against Terry Norris, or even Hector Camacho? It even went further than that. Well, it's hard to say, as everything is in boxing, but if we look at the choice of opponent here, there is definitely method in this madness, because Manny is not coming back to face the ring champion and unified WBA IBF titleist Jaron Ennis, who is the best in the division, I think, according to everybody. He's not coming back to face a number 2, possibly a future elite, and Brian Norman. He's not doing that. He is fighting the weakest link of 4 belts, the WBC title holder Mario Barrios. I say the weakest link. Barrios is not an elite fighter in my book, but he's still a very good, very solid, world-class operator, very gritty, with a never-say-die attitude, and he's also used to a big stage. He fought Javonta Tank Davis. He gave a very good account of himself, gave Davis hell in the earlier rounds. Eventually he was stopped, but gritty effort by Barrios. And then he lost to Manny Pacquiao's last big win, and that was Keith Thurman. And he was well outboxed and outpointed. Keith Thurman just outclassed him. But since then, he came back and he won the vacant WBC title by beating Yordenis Ugas, the Cuban, in a fight he wasn't favoured to win. And now, you'll all remember the last time Manny Pacquiao was in the ring 4 years ago was against the same Ugas, and he was going to fight Errol Spence Jr., but Spence got injured, and instead he fought the WBA. He fought Yordenis Ugas as a late replacement, and Pacquiao did not look good. Ugas made him look every inch of his 40-something, every bit of that, and he was well beaten over 12 rounds. Now it's been 4 years since that. Now between Keith Thurman, Pacquiao's last great win, and the Ugas fight, about 2 years elapsed, and that 2 years didn't do him well. Older fighters don't want to fight too often. A year break is maybe not a bad idea, but 2 years, it didn't look good on Pacquiao, and now 4 years, I don't know. If you look at Mario Barrios, tough, gritty fighter, very nice straight left jab, good straight right, good body shots. He's got more than decent power, but leaky defense is hittable, and sometimes he stops throwing punches for a few rounds in between, or he fades a little bit late on. In his last fight against Ramos, he almost lost his title. He hung on by a draw, on the undercard there of Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, their second fight, with a Tyson Paul fiasco also tagged onto it. But he just hung on to his belt there. So For Pacquiao that beat Keith Thurman, that Pacquiao, a slightly faded version of Pacquiao, but still a very good fighter. There's no doubt in my mind that he'll beat Mario Barrios. That version of Pacquiao beats Barrios clearly, even maybe stops him late. Because if you look at what worked for Davis, if you bridge a gap against Barrios, and you go upstairs, downstairs with explosive combinations, that's when you hurt him. And that is Pacquiao's game, but has he still got that zip? I think for Pacquiao, he's going to have to start fast. He's going to have to not have ring rust, which I don't know how that's going to be possible, and not let Barrios gain any confidence and keep the fight more on the inside. Because if it's at range, Pacquiao's reflexes is not the same anymore. He's going to eat those jabs. Now, obviously, we're all going to be rooting for Manny Pacquiao. We don't want to see him get beaten up or get hurt. For me, the last fight was one too many against Ugas. Lots of respect for Pacquiao for challenging himself. I think there's method in this madness. There's some speculation there in the Ring magazine as well. This fight is to get him a world title, to get Floyd Mayweather out of retirement for a bundle of money, because these fighters, they always need money. They don't spend like me and you. I think that is probably the end game. I don't think the end game is to go and fight Jaron Ennis or Norman or any of those guys. But that's the end game, and he's got and he saw opportunity. And here's Barrios, who's a good but a beatable champion. He'll make for a good fight. It's a style that's not too difficult for Manny Pacquiao. But is the gamble going to pay off? Manny is 46 years old. It won't make me the oldest world champion in history. That is Hopkins that has the oldest, and the second oldest. It will tie Bernard Hopkins for the second oldest champion in boxing history, oldest world champion. But is he going to do it? Now, I know there's some Filipinos watching here, and I know he's your guy, but tell me honestly in the comments, what do you think? Has Manny still got enough left to beat Barrios? I don't know. Hey, I'm not feeling it. Barrios is made for him. He's a guy that I wouldn't even have been excited about Pacquiao fighting. Years ago, Pacquiao would wipe him out of the ring, but this is not the same. It's an old guy. After a 4-year layoff, I don't like that 4-year layoff. Those exhibition fights, I don't even watch them, but I don't think that's going to do the trick. I think Barrios has been active at the world level, and Pacquiao has not, And for that reason, I am rooting for Manny Pacquiao, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be like Sugar Ray Leonard against Terry Norris, unfortunately. I think Mario Barrios is going to run out. I think Pacquiao will definitely still be competitive, but I think Mario Barrios is going to run out the decision winner here over Manny Pacquiao at the MGM Grand. Well, that's what I think. There's an interesting fight on the undercard. Tim Tszю's rematch against Sebastian Fundora. It's make or break for Tim Tszyu. You can tell me in the comments what you think there as well. But that's it. I hope Manny does it and turns back the clock. But that's why we watch for fights. That's why they fight the fights. And until we see each other again, remember to keep those hands up.